very much. Good evening. How are you? Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 49 years of age. I live on the south coast with my wife. We got married quite quickly. Unfortunately, we left it too late to have children. But we went ahead and had them anyway, which was a mistake in my view, but there we are. Couple of children. We've had an interesting trajectory through the British Isles. I met my wife. I just bought my first flat. It was just north of King's Cross, rather disreputable area in North London, famous red light district. And it was true, we had prostitutes right outside our own front door, which is handy, some of you are thinking, but believe me, you don't want to shit on your own doorstep, which is a service they offer, incidentally, and... It's interesting. I mean, I quite like gritty urban areas, to be honest. It makes your own life seem quite desirable by comparison. King's Cross certainly fitted that bill. A lot of homeless people on the streets, or possibly just outdoor lager enthusiasts, but they seem to be very committed to it if they did have a home to go to. As a rule, I don't want to tar them all with the same brush, although if you sleep on the road, that will happen sooner or later, but... I do think it's a bit ironic. The favourite drink of the homeless should be a beer called Tennant's. Rankle, mustn't it? The trick is, as it is with all commerce, of course, is to make people think they're buying into a lifestyle they can't really afford. And we all fall for it at every station in life. I recently bought myself a diver's watch. Ridiculous affectation. I have no need for it. It's covered in dials, good for up to 100 meters of water pressure. It's got a shark-resistant strap. I think, to be honest, if all he wants is your watch, it's probably best to let him have it, really. I'm no expert, but they're fairly ferocious negotiators, aren't they, the old sharks? I think only a fool would allow an argument to escalate over a watch. Can't seem to bite through this. I know, I'll try the arm. I don't know, never faced a shark. The only diving I ever do, it's considered very bad manners to check your watch. Must admit the luminous dial has come in handy, but that's more coincidence than planning. I'll find 100 meters deep, I'm getting out of there, which, of course, is unlikely to happen, because I'm a happily married man, so let's be clear that that's an entirely hypothetical scenario. I am happily married, and I've made a good choice of wife. She actually moved in as a lodger, initially. I remember it was about, let's say, 13, 14 years ago, my wife moved in as a lodger. And one week the rent fell a bit short, and one thing led to another, and there we were in a dance as old as time. That's what you had to do in the days before internet dating, you see. Set a bit of a honey trap. Cash point at this time of night around here, I shouldn't think so, no. But it was wonderful. To be honest, it was a lovely time. It was a golden age. You don't always know when you're living through them, but looking back, I remember she was very accommodating. My job isn't the easiest one for somebody to accommodate in their life. I'd get home late at night, but she'd be waiting up with a bottle of wine. That was nice. And Sunday morning, she'd let me have a lie-in. We might share a pot of coffee over the Sunday papers, then walk hand in hand through a craft market, something like that. Looking back, it sounds a bit shit, I realise, but at the time, filtered through the haze of romantic infatuation, it seemed very agreeable. So I proposed, and she accepted. We got married. She said, let's start a family. And I said, of course, darling, because I didn't think it through. Next thing you know, you're running a small, badly funded correctional facility together, aren't you? That's all it is. However much various commercial organisations dress it up. Imagine you started a small business with somebody, it goes well, you move into profit, you open a second branch, everything is going swimmingly. Suddenly, one day they turn to you and say, this is good, isn't it? What do you say we get a troop of baboons in to run the post room? That's the equivalent. Let's see how that goes. I'm sorry, I can't pretend otherwise. I resent their presence in my life, I do. They are nice enough kids. Objectively, but why do they have to live with me? It makes no sense at all. But I try and be young. I try and be young for the children. I allowed a dog into our house about a year ago. Not just for the day. I mean, we bought a dog. Not that harsh. It was against my inclinations, I have to say, to be honest, but 12 months on, and I wish we'd done it years ago. Because then it might be dead by now. It has been, without doubt, the most catastrophic decision. But this is my wife's doing again. My wife is very proactive. She likes to see things happen. She is adventurous, and she likes to take on projects. She went to Trail Finders, I think, and came back with a brochure entitled The Parks, a huge thing, about an inch thick, detailing all the amusement parks you could visit in Florida if you were so minded. You have seen these advertisements on the television. I was watching one with my wife. 2 children, about the same age as ours, little tears of joy and wonder springing in their eyes as they gazed up at the fireworks exploding over the Princess Castle. My wife turned to me and said, not as you might expect, Christ, will you look at that shit, can you believe it? Unaccountably, she said, you know, our kids would love that, but they're getting to the age where it would be perfect. Soon it will be too late. Matilda will be a teenager, there will be sarcasm and eye-rolling. If you want to give them that experience, it's now or never. And I thought, great, so never is an option, right? But it turns out, no. In fact, that was a rhetorical device. The correct answer is now. I thought, well, this doesn't look like my cup of tea, but the kids will love it, I suppose. How bad can it be? Really, it'll be no worse than visiting a fairground on an uncomfortably hot day and chucking $4 grand in a bin on the way out. That's roughly what I was praised for. In reality, it is actually far worse than that. More like $8 grand by the time we were finished. But also the heat, the humidity, the confusion, the jet lag, which I hadn't factored in. My general state, my mood was not a good one. I remember it was on about the 4th day in some unnamable park, and I was about to really lose my rag with some furry-faced idiot I didn't even recognise from any movie I'd ever seen, who'd allowed me to stand in the wrong queue for half an hour, when I felt a little tug at my sleeve, and I looked down, and there was my son, Edward, 4 years of age as he was at that time, and he looked up at me, and he had tears sparkling in his eyes, just like in the advert. And he looked up at me and he said, Daddy, this is bollocks. It makes my heart swell even telling you the story now. I'm not sure it wasn't worth $8 grand just to have it confirmed. It's a DNA test with a bit of polish on it, that was. That's all from me, folks. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks very much indeed. Take care. Thank you.